Hello.
Oh, oh, hello.
Oh, hello there.
Oh,
What's
hello,
up?
internet.
Hello,
Yeah, what's going on?
internet. Not much. I am completely unprepared, but very excited to do whatever chattelage we will be doing.
Like a chat challenge, like a chattelage.
Chattelage. Hello, Benjamin.
Hello, Ben.
As per always, I gotta get the right background music for the
Oh,
vibe.
yeah, this sets the vibe. This is a very
Perfect.
necessary thing.
The vibes have been set.
Yeah. So, Katie, how was your day today?
That's feels like such a loaded question because I feel like I both did everything and nothing.
Well, what
I
was so wait. What was like one small thing that you accomplished today?
played a lot of World of Warcraft.
Hey, that's valid.
So basically, what has happened is I've started a new job, and they found out the day that I started that I can't have access to any of the systems unless I have a laptop that they provide. So I've been having meetings, but I have not been able to actually do anything because the laptop has not arrived yet. So I mostly just sit in meetings and I'm like, this all sounds very interesting when I can actually start doing it. And then I go and play World of Warcraft.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, especially with like a remote job, because I remember when I first started my gig, that the first week, like I didn't have a laptop, so like I couldn't do anything. Like everything is tied to the server, so like
Yeah.
you have no access. Like you're just doing like mountains of paperwork and probably a bunch of trainings that are like mandatory.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the
Sounds
vibe.
right.
Yep. So I'm here. I'm down to hang and talk about TTRPGs and D/GMing and whatever the fuck else ends up being chatted about. Because I know these can go a little off the rails, which I don't mind.
Yeah, it really depends sometimes on like what the chat is vibing out to.
I gotta know. There's two sentences that are on the screen right now that I have no context for.
Oh, that could
Oh,
be...
okay. All right. It comes from a longer...
In fact, let me even make it a little bit bigger for you. So I guess that could lead me into what happened the last time we all got together to do some world building. Not that we have to do this today. Yeah, and like so like not that we have to like even do this today either. We could like totally do something new, and I'm totally fine with that. But like we were taking like a big picture idea, like taking like a regional map. And so like you've just made your world map, you're all excited, now you have to fill it with stuff, right? So we started filling it with stuff, and in the process like took some of like the geomorphological and other geological and like hydrogeological, like the water stuff, and like basically we're like, okay, so like a city that like meets where the rivers meet, like what would be like their focus, like how did their culture develop because of their time spending it like on the river with boats, or turning it into like a stepped terrace of some sort, or whatever it might be. Like how would it look like if you had like a small coastal city versus one like up in the mountains, and like what would you focus on and how would your culture develop? So
I think it's so interesting, like you coming at this from the perspective of essentially like a geologist. It makes sense that this is the way that like you would start your world, is sort of like, all right, like here's like the topographical map, and like here's what this would mean for the community that would live there. Whereas like I am someone who very much lets the plot sort of dictate my world, because I am such a like story first person, and that has been like my upbringing my whole life, is sort of like, okay, like find that main arc and like find those things, and then you could build out around it. And I appreciate seeing like sort of the different ways that our different backgrounds and approaches impact the way that we world build.
I mean, I won't lie to you, the first time that I started like DMing like ever, I very much came from a place where you would be at home, where I had like a story, and like I just started with like a small town, and then I was like, well, I guess I got to like make this like a bigger thing. Let me make a map, I guess. And then from there I like started like switching over to that. And like since then I've kind of like worked my mind into such a way that if I'm like creating something from scratch, like for one of these things that we're doing, I start big, because then I just let some like hidden gem that like gets uncovered while we're like building, and I'm like, oh, this could be like the perfect reason to like have this plot line where, you know, I think I had mentioned it to you like either in person over the weekend. Shout out to everybody who might be here from PAX.
Hell yeah.
But then, you know, like the people that lived in the city of Crystala, they like make these gems that get like spells stored in them. So because of that, you know,
oh
there's
yeah,
a
we
gem
were talking
shortage.
about this.
Yeah.
That's
so like
cool.
that ended up like getting written into like all of the like meat and potatoes, I guess you would call it. So like Crystala was like their very first large city, like super high magic. They had time for education because they like developed this like society where they do intricate work with metal and crystal.
Sure.
Yeah. So and then like have like a guild system because of it, and because of that, like there's this like upper mobility access that maybe some of the other cities don't have, and you're like more tied to like where you're born kind of thing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, and then, you know, we had like a really fun thing. Travis jumped into the chat and like mentioned that for one of these cities, this one, I believe it's right here on the rivers, on this big river, that like once a year there's this like red moon that happens for like 15 days, and you know, the people that live here have to like deal with like the fae just like crashing their place and having some like rager for like 15 days.
That's very funny. I like that a lot.
And we kind of like came up with this thing where like the people of the city like keep it a secret because they made a really bad deal when the city was founded. like they signed a contract with like a satyr, and so they didn't read the fine print. And because of that, oh yeah, Baylor definitely comes at it from ancient culture's perspective, which is super awesome.
I was thanking Loves Like Pie for subbing.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Loves Like Pie.
And also thanks for lurking and working, which is something that I also do when I'm working and might not want to just be working. But no, I think this is super cool. So are you intending for this to essentially bleed over into the campaign world that we have created, or is this just a fun personal project for Zeki?
So this was like just like a fun personal thing that happened last week. You know, cool. I have like no intention of actually even using any of this, but like I was thinking whenever I was like prepping for last week's DM session, that like I wanted to do something with like the Bronze Age collapse. So I wanted to have like at least 6 or 7 cities that would like have relationships between each other, so that way I could then, you know, cause it to collapse, and then that would be the setting for the players to jump in and like fix. You know, like you could have any kind of like magical like calamity happen as like part of this great collapse in a society, and then, you know, the light of the kingdom has been lost in a way, so now like the adventurers have to like go attain it, whatever that might be.
I'm curious, Zeki, if you're gonna say like run a one shot, could give you 3 options. A, set it in a world you already know. B, sort of create like a small little bit of a world to run the one shot in. Or did I say 1, 2, or A, B? I don't remember. I'm going to say C. Not worry about the world and just worry about the plot.
So that will be the topic of tonight, I think. I think that's like a good thing to like just like hard stop into. This will be fun. Because I have like lots of thoughts about this, obviously. That I've run like a few one-shots for you at this point. Some of them don't always end up being one-shots, but the intent is always a one-shot.
True.
So I have like a couple different ways that I approach them. Like if I'm like super strapped for time, I'll usually like do something that I have done before and like do a variation on it. That way, like I have like a general like bubble of an idea, and then I can kind of like pick random things to like help fill like the shell, like Clue, for example. Do something familiar. But like, for example, like I've run Clue on this channel. I've run it for you as like a one-shot in your living room, and I ran it for the natural ones, and each time it's been completely different with like an entirely different plot.
And Wizards of the Coast released a Clue, and I feel like they owe you some money, Zeki.
They do. Actually,
I think they stole your idea.
Some money. Yeah, they watched the stream and we're like, oh my god, how did we not think of this before? We have like a million random murder items that we could totally use for Clue.
But yeah, no, that makes sense. So do something familiar, do something that you've run before, and then where do you this is going to turn into a Katie interviewing Zeki session. Where do you tweak and change things? Like, what is your process for that? Especially if, like, for example, for Clue, Ben and I had both played in it in my living room, and then we did it again on the channel. And so you had to switch some shit up so that we were not just like, I know where to go from here. Like, the answer is obvious.
Okay, so that's actually a really fun answer because I've actually thought about it more since running it for you on the channel, because I've been thinking about like putting like a table, like a series of tables together along with the map, and from that have like DMs be able to run like a matrix of like 128 variations or something. That's depending on how many different tables you had, like you have like a table of like potential victims, like a table of potential reasons why they're victims, because it's not always just a murder. Sometimes it's a murder, sometimes it's like a very complicated murder. Like when I did it for the Nat ones, I was like riding this train of like murder on the Orient Express, except in a house. So like everybody had a reason to kill this guy, but who actually did it, kind of thing.
That's very cool.
And it like applied to like the main story arc, and that's how it like worked in, and it was beautiful and wonderful and hilarious at the end. And then when I ran it for your living room, I was coming up to your house. I think it was on a Friday the 13th.
Yes. Yes.
So I like got it in my head. I'm like, okay, let me find. This is like a 2-hour drive, everyone, for context. So I was like, let me find some podcasts that like go over like the history of like Friday the 13th, because I'm driving and can't like actually like do any prep, because as soon as I got to Katie's house,
we immediately started.
I like set up and started DMing, and it was hilarious and pretty glorious. That was a fun
orgy.
One. There was an orgy. I did not plan that, for the record. And it is 15 minutes and 50 seconds before we got there.
It was a ghost orgy, if I'm remembering correctly. One of the character
orgy.
Was like, I'm gonna go fuck the spirits in that room. Y'all can go figure out what's happening.
There were like a couple people that joined into the ghost orgy.
I think so, actually. I think I was one of the few people that didn't.
Yeah, you were like, I actually want to solve this because I am a Warforged.
Yep.
But I guess like what goes with that one is I had the familiar idea of it being the mansion, and that wasn't the influencer one. That was one where you had the mad genius wizard character in the house the whole time, and he like killed a fake version of himself.
Right.
Yeah, and then like everybody else had been like, no, what was that?
Oh, I was just gonna say it's a very like Clue the movie sort of way of doing it, where it's like the master's been alive the whole time.
Yeah, I think that's even like where I like got some of the inspiration for that one. But then like I D&D'd it by like making all of like the guests not real.
That was very cool and very confusing.
So like they were so they were like all monsters. So like you were gonna figure out like, okay, well this person wasn't like, I was intending it so that way there were, it was packed in so that way there were either like a bunch of encounters and you guys are terrible at guessing, or you guys like the group goes through, I don't know, 2 maybe 3 encounters tops before I would start like helping you out a little bit. So that way you're like, wait, all these people aren't really people, what's going on here, kind of thing.
Right.
So, and that one was really, really fun. And then again, finally there was the celebrity influencer dinner at the mansion.
Which I once again didn't give a fuck about. That was great. And I love the idea actually of you like sort of parsing it out into almost something that someone could go and like roll a dice and decide, like mix and match the pieces of the encounter. Like, okay, who are the guests? I'm going to roll a D6. All right, I got a 6. So we got this person, that person, whatever it may be, and being able to almost like wild magic surge, like create your own Clue one shot. Also, I have no idea what the actual D&D Clue is like. It could be exactly this, but I do want to say I have not read anything about it other than that it exists. So I think this is an original idea from Zeki.
I looked at the back of the box whenever I found it.
Yeah.
And it actually, I keep saying that actually word tonight is going to drive me nuts. And I discerned from the packaging that it was just repackaged Clue, and instead of like the traditional weapons, they had like magical items. Like none of them, like a bunch of them were like actual weapons too, so they weren't like
interesting,
because like
I think guns, that was like D&D magic guns.
Not magic, I don't think there were any magic guns, but there was like a crossbow and like a sword and like a maul or something like that. But it was more believable to me that it would be run like regular Clue with maybe some extra RP.
Interesting. Okay. Well, then in that case, you got the market cornered, Zach. You go to town.
Yeah, because like the other thing about that is like traditionally, like you don't need a DM to play Clue. Right? You just like shuffle cards and put them in the envelope, and then you suss out the information however you do that when you normally play Clue. So this is like definitely like more of a hands-on approach for Clue.
Yeah,
oh man, this could be a lot of fun.
Completely got off on a tangent and are not talking about one shots, but I like it. Well, I think it's a good conversation.
Do you want to like design? Do you want to help me like design a Clue for tonight?
Fuck yeah! If chat's down to watch, I would love to help.
Yeah, chat. Do you mind if we like build a one-shot encounter that you two can go forth and use in the universe? Should we like put a poll out or something? I don't know how to do that.
How do you do that? I think it's like /poll. Oh, I can't. Okay, speak now, forever hold your peace is what we're doing.
You know what You know we like to... Yeah, well...
That's our poll. Post yes or no.
Phrasing. Ben is very aware of his phrasing.
Ben put the winky face there for a reason. All right, cool. Let's do it. Ben says yes.
Mm-hmm. All right. So another thing that I had kind of been pondering about while thinking about Clue as a module thing is that it doesn't have to be in like a mansion. I have like put it in a mansion because I am like, you know, paying respect to
paying homage to the game.
Yeah.
Do we want to maybe come up? This is how my brain works. I don't know how our brains work and if they're the same, but like, what if we come up with a couple different things like setting, like murderer, weapons, like some categories, and then start sort of populating them with potentials. So like
that is exactly what I wanted to do.
Great.
And you read my mind about it. So this is perfect. Which is why I was like starting it out by saying, you know, it doesn't have to be in a mansion.
Right.
Yes. I've like thought about running this in a tavern. That'd be a brilliant thing as well, because you've
cool. That's also, or like a diner.
Yeah, I like that. So this is
what's that Twilight Zone episode where it's like something Among Us, where they're like bus crashes and they're all in a diner and they know that they're like one of them is an alien. It's just about like the descent into madness of trying to figure out which one of them it is. Maybe that relates to nobody, but I promise it's real. It's a great study in human psychology and the way that we look for other.
I watched a lot of the Twilight Zone when I was very young, so I don't remember a lot of them. Like there's like only a few that like I really remember super deeply. One of them was with like Shatner. Another was with like the pig people.
The pig. Oh, Eye of the Beholder. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a really fun episode.
Eye of the Beholder is a very good episode, and still like I think about those faces and it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Twilight Zone was very poignant and like a very good, like not every episode, but most episodes had really interesting commentary that was like underpinning the creepiness. At least in my opinion. Balor knows the episode.
Of course, Balor knows this episode. Balor knows all. I think like when they like invent like the AI brain that is going to be like the future Google god,
they're just going to scan Balor.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say they're going to use his neural pathways as a map for it.
I mean, it would save them a lot of work. It would
save them a lot of work. All right, location. Let's see. Let's just start a list, I guess. Yeah, location.
Yeah.
So we've said mansion, obviously. AskBalor.com. We've got diner/tavern.
Diner. I like having both individually because you can put this in the modern setting.
That's true.
And run this in like any system.
That's very true. I mean,
and also really like a diner has like a different vibe too.
Yeah,
you know?
Diner has a very different vibe. I mean, you could do a hotel, which is also like more modern.
Mm-hmm. You could do a train.
I mean, you could do a train, yeah. And let's look at those like quintessential sort of like Agatha Christie settings, right? Like
exactly, yeah. A boat.
You could even, I was gonna say boat. You could even go a bit broader and do like a small town, like an insular small town. I personally love like amusement park. That is also like carnival / amusement park type of deal. Yeah.
You get like the dark side of like a carnival too with that.
The convention center, that's very funny, and I like that. I also really do like the idea of treating this sort of like a random selection. So it's like like very much like Clue, you know, like Colonel Mustard in the kitchen with the whatever. It's like roll for location, roll for weapons, roll for what, blah, blah, blah. And you end up with like this sort of hodgepodge mishmash one shot, which I think would be very fun. Of course, if you don't like something, you can re-roll it. There's no like, well, you're stuck with what you got. But all right, let's see. A mall. What else? What else are some interesting, like, what interesting places where you would be stuck together with people? There's, I mean, sleepaway camp.
Sleepaway camp. Oh yeah, you could totally go like for like an 80s horror movie vibe.
Yeah. D&D camp in a magical creepy circus. Yeah. There's literally a D&D campaign setting in a magical creepy circus. That's exactly sort of what I'm thinking.
Yep. I put a mall on there because like I have to.
Cabin in the woods. Hell yeah, cabin in the woods. I also just love the idea of like a modern day office.
Like The Office, or
I mean,
like
not like The Office. I mean, I have only seen The Office on an airplane and I hated it. Sorry, not sorry.
We've talked about this off air.
Yeah. I'm thinking like, I don't know, I worked at a company once that was kind of like the corporate headquarters was out in the middle of nowhere. We would have to like take a shuttle or drive out there. So you're very much like isolated in like a corporate setting. And you know, like for me, I would sometimes get stuck there if the shuttles weren't running. I almost got stuck there overnight one time. So you know, you can do a lot in an office. And sometimes it's not great.
Oh yeah, I mean, a school, or like an academic building. Because like in undergrad, they thought it was a great idea to give all of the geology students swipe access to the entire geology department.
Oh, a college campus.
College campus could be more fun too, because like you could like work in more adult themes, and to me that I don't want to
let's get rid of school and just keep college campus.
I mean, it could be school for like high school reunion type deal.
That's true.
I think that could be hilarious. Like
school
you're
reunion?
all there for.
That'd be very funny.
I feel like I've like seen that on some show as well.
I wonder if we almost want to code these with like, and I mean, granted, let's get some like lists up, but what I would want to do is go back and like code them, be like modern day setting versus like more fantasy settings, so that way if someone was like, hey, I only want to roll in the fantasy table, or I want to roll in the whole thing, like you could sort of give them different subsets if they were trying to like be a little bit more tailored with the one shot they were creating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you think about that.
But I do like that actually, and I think it requires maybe we have to like think about how we want to categorize them, like modern, fantasy, by size.
Yeah.
Because we could also like overlay it in such a way that like, you know, you could use a variety of dice. Like what's your D20 list versus like what's your D12 list?
That's exactly what I was thinking, is if it's like the first 4 fall into X, like use a D4 for that. But then the problem is that if you only want to do like the second subsection, right? Like we'd have to actually make different lists of like, here's this, here's the full list. So like I imagine like, honestly, I wouldn't want to go above 20, so that if you want to do everything, you can use a D20. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking too. And also like after 20, like you should not do Clue. You should probably just make it like this is like your no prep one shot generator kind of thing, which could be its own thing. Like I'm not. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that there's some very funny like potential combinations that could happen if you roll for everything too, because it's like, all right, we end up in a tavern and it's like the janitor, and it's sort of like, that's a strange combination, but also why not, we can make that work. Or like you end up again like on an island and it's the teacher, and it's like, that's also weird, but sure, why not? Also, how many do we have here right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I think. So we need 17, 18, 19, 4 more, and then we can move on to the next category. Oh, you number. Oh, Zeki, I love you so much.
I just changed it. I was like, let me just put numbers. Also, I did not mean to hit that button. My computer's gonna hate me right now.
What'd you do?
I opened an application that I did not mean to open at all.
Ooh.
It was Fantasy Grounds, and it was like buffering.
That's fair. Okay, let's see. Where else? Where else can you clue?
Just so you know, I do have it pinned in How the Fuck.
Cool. I will get in there. What about a garden party? Or a house party?
Yes. Garden. Well, describe your garden party first. Is the garden party at a house? Or is the garden party at like an outdoor park or sculpture ground or something?
I don't know. I was honestly thinking like Victorian like tea party. But that doesn't have to be it. Valor's is a greenhouse.
A greenhouse could be part of it. I'm thinking like a tea party like fancy British.
Yes, that's
like
sort
they
of
have
what I
like
was
the
thinking,
maze
yes.
outside, and they have
yes.
Like, croquet.
Yes.
Like
yes.
So we're gonna call this outdoor tea party.
I also like the idea of leaving it up to interpretation of the DM if they land on it.
Fancy.
fancy. Let's see. Where else is a good setting for a clue murder mystery? Chat, weigh in. You're smart and creative people.
Al the PC Man, I don't know what OpenAI is, but it sounds very intriguing.
It's that new-ish AI that people have been using to like create stuff. So like you can put in things like
super creepy stuff.
Give me a clue. No, this one's actually really scarily good. Oh, museums is someone. That's great.
Oh, I love museums, and I love them so much that it was actually the first arc of the natural ones they did like a heist in a museum, and it was awesome. So really appreciate that, D Hogs. Is it just dogs? And I'm just not. Okay, so we have mansion, diner, tavern, hotel, trains, boats, spell chamber, small town, museum, amusement park, carnival, convention center, mall. What if it's like a floating castle?
Sure. Oh, I just did 10 places clue could take place in OpenAI. Got museum, library, historic site, park, art gallery, theater, zoo, amusement park, sports arena, and aquarium.
I think the only ones we didn't have were like aquarium, sports arena, and
zoo. Theater. Zoo, we don't have theater actually, which is crazy considering the fact that I am running something in a theater. We should probably stop at 20 though, and we can always come back.
Yes.
Unless is there anything we want to remove in here? Let's edit. Let's see if there's anything that like feels redundant or Well, you know what? I think it's great. Let's move on to murderer? Murder weapon? Dinner party guest?
Ooh. So many options. Let's do something more broad than that though. What if we did plots?
Ooh. Like plot hooks?
Yeah. So we'll call this one hooks.
Yes.
Numbered list. So the numbered list is like, so let me, I guess, run spoilers for the Nat ones if you haven't listened to the show, because I'm about to spoil the first clue. It was the obvious answer is the right answer.
That's actually a very good one. So is this a hook or a solution so much? I think these are solutions.
Well, the hook is clue, right?
Right. So I think that these would be actually like solutions to the mystery, right? So like,
oh yeah,
the obvious person is the right person. Everybody did it is another one.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So, spoiler. Number 1 was number 2, except it wasn't. It was just the obvious one that you should have picked the whole time. That's what made number 1 so difficult for my players.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
We should do the host did it, or like the I don't know what the word is for host, if it's like the head of the carnival, or like the, you know what I mean, the like authority figure, host, principal, head of whatever it is.
Yeah, I see. The person in charge.
Person in charge. I like it. Could have a PC have done it. That would involve a little bit of collusion, but scandalous. Yeah, number 2 is the Orient Express. I mean, you can say like the person with the alibi did it. That's a very Agatha Christie situation. I don't know if it's too vague.
How do you mean the person with the alibi?
Like, there's usually one person in like a murder mystery who is pretty clearly not the person who did it, because it's like either they were the one who was murdered, or they were, you know, the person who is like really pushing for this to get solved, or they have like an airtight alibi, or, you know, whatever it may be. There's usually like a person that is like seemingly obviously not the person, like the person you can trust usually.
Yeah. I'm just gonna call that the airtight alibi.
Perfect. Again, we're not gonna release it like this. This is just brainstorming. Yeah, Agatha Christie did have one where the narrator did it. That was, oh God, what's it called? The murder of Roger Atroy. Is that correct? I believe so. I've spent a couple years very hyper fixated on Agatha Christie. I think I've read every Agatha Christie novel in existence. But it has been a while.
Did you watch the recent movie that came out?
Death on the Nile?
No, I saw that one as well. Both of those are fantastic. I like the first one a little bit better, but there is another movie that came out. I think it's on HBO. It might have been like an HBO like original or some shit.
Interesting.
But it was about like 1950 London, and they're running an Agatha Christie play, and someone in the theater gets murdered.
Interesting.
No, someone did it.
Well, no, I think Balor's saying that there's also one where
the guy just died.
There's also, actually, we should pop that in. Nobody did it. It's just like a natural death, or like something along those lines. Let's see. Let's see who done it.
See How They Run is the name of the movie that I'm talking about. Did you see that yet?
Yeah. I have not, but I've heard
gosh.
it. Yes, watch it.
Excellent. You will very much enjoy it. I did not know you about this fixation with Agatha
Oh,
Christie.
I love Agatha Christie.
Because I like
There's
love all those shows, like obviously Murder She Wrote, Monk, Psych.
I think that what's really incredible about Agatha Christie is like I normally know who did it like pretty early or like middle of the way through most things I watch or read. And Agatha Christie does such a good job of adding the twist at the end. And it's just like I'm sure there have been a couple times where I've been able to like figure it out, but I very rarely can figure out who did it before the end of an Agatha Christie book. Although I did figure out the one where the kid did it. I can't remember what it's called, where the kid is like murdering everyone, because I know Agatha Christie. And I was like, the only person who is like unbelievable to have potentially done this is this like 10-year-old child. Therefore, it must be the 10-year-old child.
Okay, so
the child,
the absurd person did it.
The absurd person, yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. There could be like the PC did it without knowing that they did it, like some sort of or like the PCs all did it and they've like had their memories wiped, something like that. We're workshopping here. Because I feel like there's the PC did it and they're in on it, and then the PCs did it and like didn't remember it. And like they're trapped in some sort of, I don't know, like pocket dimension. I'm almost thinking of this isn't quite right, but you know the White Christmas episode of Black Mirror. Not that they don't remember, of course, but like the idea of like you're sort of in this like pocket dimension where they're trying to like either like a combination of, this is my Black Mirror hyperfixation, White Bear and White Christmas. They both have white in the title. I just realized that. Where the White Bear one is that she is being punished for essentially being complicit in a murder. And her punishment is that she wakes up with no recollection and is essentially being like hunted down, and she's like trying to escape and she doesn't know why. And it turns out that like it's just like her consistent daily punishment. She's like part of this museum or exhibit where people can buy tickets to like watch her punishment. It's fucked up. But I don't know. I don't know if there's something in there. But I feel like something where like the PC is, anyway, we already wrote it down. It's number 8. I'm just going off on a little bit of a word vomit tangent. But something like that. Let's see. Victim faked it, as well as an OG variation for number 2. Let's see.
Meaning that's the one I ran in your living room.
Yes. What else? What are some other good murder solutions? Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna cheat. Agatha Christie murder solution.
And also for the viewers out there, the question that we're answering right now in terms of what you need to solve this is essentially the why. So like this is the where, this is the why, and then we'll move into the hows and who's and
the who's. Yeah, I wonder if this would need to obviously have like a trigger warning on it, but suicide is also a potential solution.
Yeah.
I would like obviously put it with like a like trigger warning.
Yeah. I think if anything, maybe we make that one like the last solution.
Yeah.
So that way, if people don't want to use it, they can just move to like
just go on down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like don't count 20 or something like that, or like don't count 1.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Gosh, I don't know if we can get 20 solutions.
Rest assured, we can get to 20.
Okay, we can do it.
We can. Because remember, we're doing like broad strokes for this as well.
Yes.
So the obvious answer is the right answer. I'm gonna like revise this one to kind of being the red herring is actually the person, is actually it, because that's how I did it the first time. I like put all these people that like should have been the killers in the room,
right?
But then like there's one person who was like out of place and like visiting and just happened to be staying there when this happened, and they're the one that did it, obviously.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. Oh, excuse me.
Jealous lover.
I mean, there's always jealous lover is always a good one.
I mean, that was Death on the Nile, right?
Yeah. I feel like then, like, the jealous lover would be one of the NPCs, is I assume. Like, I feel like there's there's sort of
ultimately,
there's
like,
categories
this is the
here of like, right? Yes, yes. Jealous lover. There's always money. Always money murder.
Money murder.
Money murder.
Money murder mystery.
Let's see. Revenge is always I mean, if we're just gonna go with like motivation, revenge is a good one. These are a little bit vaguer because it's sort of like I feel like the first 10 are very prescriptive, and then these are getting a little bit more like this is a motivation, but you do you. But I feel like this, again,
so maybe this is if you're more like advanced in your creative and you're more comfortable with your creative juices.
Yes.
Because I feel
but
like
also I think that the point isn't necessarily to like give people like a perfect one shot. It's sort of to give them all the elements for them to then pull it together and do what they want with it.
Agreed. And you know, every single one of these things can have its own like description. You know what I mean? Like you'll have like a paragraph to talk about why this is the solution kind of thing. And then like, you know, you have all these different tables and each one is like a paragraph. And then by the time you're done, you have like 5 paragraphs or something to then be able to like a minimum of 5 paragraphs to then, because you'll have one for all the characters and stuff too. So you'll have like all these different paragraphs. And like by then, like you have like, you know, a 1-page one shot, which is something that is.
It would be cool to essentially, we'd have to get Ben for this, but be able to like code it into a website so that what you would do is as you like could kind of like randomize roll, and you could re-roll if you didn't like it, and then it would spit out at the end like all the things that it picked. Oh my God, my green screen just fell over. That was scary.
There's a ghost. A ghost.
But you can see my room.
I see your room.
Oh no.
And now I see your real room.
It's okay. I got it back. Everything's fine. No stress.
I think your real room needs to get pushed over slightly more.
My real room is good. All right. Nope. Still not good. I don't really care. It's fine.
Just in case you were worried.
But what I was gonna say is that then the idea of it being able to spit it out into like essentially like web page that you could, even if it's a PDF that you can download, and then it puts all the paragraphs together, and then you really do just have this like 1-page Clue TTRPG. So actually, I like this a lot. This would be really fun. All right. Anyway, let's keep coming up with the solutions and keep going. I would really like to build this now, like the whole thing. I think that'll be really fun.
Yeah, that's why we're here. We got an hour and plus minutes, however long it takes.
And honestly, I'd be down to keep popping into this like next week or something like that, or like later this week, and keep workshopping it. I like how our DMing 101 always turns into something completely else, but like still a great time.
Yeah, and like that, but that's like part of it though, you know, like
yes.
It's like my whole mantra. Like, ideas are cheap. Like, you got to be able to like just keep coming up with stuff and like save them for later. Like,
Oh yeah.
every DM out there that wants to like find some inspiration or might be trying to like watch this for some tips or whatever, do yourself a favor, get a Google Doc, put it like, call it like DM ideas or something like that, and then download Google Docs onto your phone, onto your tablet, have it on like your Chrome, and then you can just like doodle in it with whatever you want. Like, you can literally doodle. I drew this live last week with the channel. So like, anything is literally possible with Google Docs. I learned that in college and I'm sticking by it.
I feel like another good one, and we'd have to like sort of dig into this, but like the victim isn't who you think they are. So like the person, like I'm thinking like the like you think that it's, you know, Joe Schmo who was murdered, and it turns out it's actually like a famous gangster or like a like nefarious criminal or something like that, you know. Needs a little workshopping, but victim is someone else.
Victim is someone else.
You know what this actually kind of reminds me of as well?
No, we're gonna say.
Oh, I was just gonna say this reminds me a bit of like the way that you create games in Weave, where it's like randomized, like pick a card. But anyway,
that is exactly that. You are exactly correct.
Yes. You had something to say though about the victim being someone else.
Victim is someone else, like misidentification.
Yeah, or like
intentional.
I mean, I'm thinking it could be something like oh gosh, I'm trying to think of an example of this in any kind of like fiction, but like I know I've seen it where essentially they make the victim look like someone they want you to think is dead, but that someone isn't actually dead. So it could just be like it could be like the butler. You know what I mean?
The body double murder.
Yeah.
Like,
which I guess is similar to the victim faked it.
Well, yeah, but like you could, but it's not like.
But it's still a murder.
It could be. Like, it's not always like the intent of like the body double person, you know, like it could be like, like someone's being like held hostage or something.
Yeah.
And so like they want you to think that they're dead.
Right.
Or something like that.
Okay, body double murder. So we have everyone did it. We had no one did it. We got the PCs did it.
Perpetrated. It's just not a real word.
Perpetrated. Let's see. I mean, this might be reaching, but could it be something where it's like the environment did it? Where it turns out that like, you know, the amusement park is like haunted or alive or like whatever it is. And it's sort of like you're looking at the people. But it's really like something outside of, you know, whatever. Like I'm thinking like lair action kind of situation where it's like the setting is alive.
I like that. Thank you,
I'm so proud of you for getting that right, Zeki.
Oh my god, that was bugging me so bad. So do you mean accidental environmental or purposeful environmental? Or one of each?
I was thinking purposeful, but we should do one of each because we still have 6 more of these to write, and it's a lot of murder reasons to come up with.
And that's different from like an all natural death, because I'm thinking like all natural death like goes silently in the night and all of a sudden there's a murder mystery.
Do we have an all natural death, or we have
I think we have like number 6. Nobody did it. It was all natural.
Yeah, but it could also be nobody did it. Could also be like they accidentally drank poison because they thought it was coffee. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be like natural in that sense. It just has to be that there's not a person or like a solution other than that it was not intentional.
I see. You were going to say something else, though, before I had my perpetrated.
Oh, no, I just said the 2 environment ones I thought were pretty good. Let's see. How else do people die? This is morbid.
Oh, we could do like, it was a test.
Oh yeah, it was a test. Like the whole thing was like essentially a setup to see if the PCs could pass or solve or whatever.
And so everyone knows, for context, I just watched The Maze Runner the other night. You do not have to, like, you know, look in all different kinds of crazy places for inspiration.
It was all a dream. Thanks, Schlivity. Good.
I mean, I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper up in my limousine.
I mean, there could be one where it's a bad drug trip, like a cumulative bad drug trip. We're getting a little out there now, but I'm down. God, if you got bad drug trip mixed with carnival, that could go some weird places.
You know, right? Like that could be really bad.
Could be fun though.
Could be fun.
3 more. Ghosts.
Ghosts?
Ghosts.
How? What do you mean by ghosts?
Ghosts. That's my final answer.
Ghosts. Not even
Ghosts.
with a T, just with a P.
I mean, I guess like a haunting, like something like that.
And it killed somebody?
Yeah, ghosts.
But then who done it?
Ghosts.
But there's no ghost character.
It's the ghost.
What if one of the NPCs is a ghost and did the murdering?
What if it's just ghosts?
What if it was all ghosts? Like all the NPCs were ghosts.
All NPCs are ghosts. They did do it. I was more thinking like actually like thinking like a haunting situation where you can't necessarily see the ghosts. Or like you don't necessarily know off the bat that the ghosts are there, but you have to like figure out that it's haunted and like exorcise the ghosts kind of situation.
So it's like a ghost ship situation.
Kinda.
Okay.
Or like, I mean, depending on where you are, right? Like if you're like in a house, it's like weird shit's happening in the house. Someone dies, like turns out to be supernatural. Or haunted space, I guess, because
haunted space.
Could be a haunted boat, could be a haunted
location.
That's true. Ghosts have an action. Haunted location. Ghosts did it. All the ghosts did it.
Yeah.
All the angry ghosts did it. Ghosts.
Haunted location.
That was seance or an exorcism. Yeah, seance or an exorcism. Seance or an exorcism.
Oh, what if that was like the person that like got murdered by the haunting?
Ooh.
Is like there at the beginning of like the one shot and like is like mouthing something to you, to the players. And it's like saying the ghost did it, but like you can't make it out.
Sure.
You usually roll like a 25 perception.
All I care about is that we have a solution where it's ghosts. I don't care how we get there. The ghosts done did it.
Ghosts killed the
person. The victim.
The victim.
We'll also be able to like, you know, go in and tweak these. Right now we're just trying to get the
I just want to make sure like next week we come back to this and I'm like, what the fuck?
We're like, what the fuck? The ghosts. What did the ghosts do?
Everyone's a ghost is the reveal to the others.
More.
Oh my gosh, like at the end of the puzzle they find out that everyone's been dead the whole time.
Oh my god.
Like
Need 2 more, guys. We're really reaching.
What if it's like the PCs are dead the whole time?
Wait, what if all the PCs are dead the whole time and the person that they're trying to figure out how they got murdered is actually alive?
Is alive.
Yeah, and they're the ones who died.
Yeah, killer reveals the real victims.
It's like a Sixth Sense Uno reverse situation.
Yeah.
Ooh, yes, the mistaken murder. That's a great number 20. The victim was an accident and the killer was aiming for someone else. Like, you know, lights out, blah, blah, blah. Someone dies and it's really like one of the PCs that was being targeted. Hell yeah, we got there. All right, what's next? Murderer?
Nicole Kidman. She would do a movie like that. That makes
I feel
sense.
like I saw that movie.
Was it Eyes Wide Shut?
I remember her like. I don't know. I know nothing.
Eyes Wide Shut is a very different movie.
I've never seen Eyes Wide Shut. Sounds terrible. I don't want to see it.
It's got a lot going on. So we did locations. We did solutions. What is our next?
We need guests.
We did the... So this is
I think guests is going to be the hardest. Because I think what we should do, and this might honestly not be a tonight thing, but when we do guests, is I would like to essentially compose a party for each of the like whatever, so that you have an option for like the obvious person, you have an option for like the eccentric person. So like we kind of can have that like perfect party comp for the guests, and that I think will take some time. And that'll take us like sitting down and like building out like literally 20 different party comps that all have different vibes. Oh, sleep no more. Speaking my language, Schlibbity. But let's do the murderer first, because I feel like by the time we get through the murderer, it might actually be time to wrap up the stream, because I gotta get in the car and drive my parents.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so.
But I don't know. Guests. Does that like vibe with you to actually sit down and like make party comps for all the guests at some point? Like really build them out. Be like, this is Schlibbity von Schlibbity Schlib, and this is Zekety von Zekety Zek, and this is Balor von Ballardy Bor. And
what a sweet like party that you're comprising right now.
It's a pretty good party, right? And like sort of not maybe even like honestly build out like character sheets for them as well, for the sake of making this like as no prep as possible for the people that are potentially going to be running it.
Yeah, I feel like that would definitely be like a part of the whole process. Is you either have like true NPC sheets that are like they're basically commoner stats, so they're very fragile, or maybe they're adventurers. Like it would depend on like the party makeup and stuff too. But
yeah,
that could be a lot of fun.
Cool. So should we? I guess do we want to do murderer or murder weapon?
I feel like murder weapon could be fun, and cool. It could take up an entire hour if we're coming up with our own magical items.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
Because if we're going to do this, we should create 20 magical items to go into this. So we have where, the why, the what. Is it the what or the how? Because what is like murder, right?
Oh, the what is murder.
Yeah.
The who. Well, there's the who and the where. The why. I think the how is like
the murder weapon, right?
The weapon, like yeah.
Yeah. All right, Katie. Give me your favorite non-audio obvious weapon. Like if you had to like pick something absurd to kill somebody with.
A lipstick that turns into a dagger or sword, or it's just magical. But just it has to be lipstick, magical lipstick.
Magical lipstick. I
don't know what it does.
Oh, I totally know what to do. I'm gonna call it Bard's Bees. And it's
Bard's Bees. Oh, that's so good, Zeki.
And it's like a chapstick.
That's so good.
That, you know, on the surface, that, you know, bards use to plump their lips, you know, or to like, you know, because they have to, like, they're very like charismatic type creatures that care about it. But then instead of that, there's also like a little like a literal like bee stinger, like it's like a little metal bee stinger that like you pop the bottom and like a poison like
Zeki
pin comes out
this
and
is
like
so
gets
good.
you like
I like it a lot. It's also very like subtle, so it's the kind of thing where you could like, you know, like inject it under the table or like I like it. And it's definitely like does poison damage. Or like poison death, I guess would be the poison. I don't know if damage is it's not really damage when it kills you. A statue's dick. Balor.
I'm gonna put it on the list, Balor, but it's gonna be like a Tom Cruise statue dick, so you do have to look at Tom Cruise's dick for your previous comment.
Bard's Bees is so good. I like can't get over it.
It's like a little stinger with deadly poison.
One prick is all it takes.
It's true.
Cool. All right. Let's see. What's another fun, interesting murder weapon?
I am gonna put like a dick statue, a statue dick.
That's totally fair. I also like the idea of like a musical instrument that has some sort of if you play it a certain way, like create some kind of like aural whatever that is deadly. I don't know exactly what that would look like, but
the unsound.
Ben just walked in, said deadly oral, and walked out.
It's on brand.
Also, I'm going to be eating pot stickers, and I apologize in advance.
Oh man, the brown note. I like the unsound better. The brown note sounds. Ugh.
I like the unsound.
But like, what makes the unsound? Is it like some kind of crazy triangle? Can you imagine just like holding up a triangle and go and you like kill somebody?
Yeah, an instrument that plays power word kill. Exactly. That is exactly it. I like the idea of triangle. Like. Yeah, I was gonna say either a triangle or like a stringed instrument, like a harp or something, because I feel like harps like are so angelic that the idea of it being deadly is like fun and subversive.
We'll flesh out all of these items because there has to be a way that like the player will figure out that like even though it's not charged up with power word kill, it did have it.
Why? Okay. Yeah. Are we not going to elaborate on Tom Cruise's dick? Is that that's it?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Wait, Kate, do you want to elaborate on Tom Cruise's dick? Can we like get clips of this?
I don't necessarily need to. I just want to make sure that we're leaving that as is and putting no other context in. When we finally do like actually make this and release it, I would like that to still have no context.
I mean, Shlib.
All right, let's see.
You could be bludgeoned by like a statue of his peen. I guess.
Let's see.
But it's.
I like the like something that has been eaten, so there's no evidence of it. You know what I mean? Like the
classic stale almonds.
Mm-hmm. Like a burger.
A cheeseburger. But it has a strange almondy taste.
It's arsenic.
Pretty sure that's Scientology. That's Schlib. What else? Well, that could be like hilarious. You know what I really like from like the Golden Girls? Your other like deadly musical instrument.
Yes. My did I name it?
I don't know, did you? It's your axe.
Oh my god, did I name my axe? We're gonna have to fix that on Friday. That's fine.
We are gonna have to fix that. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, I like the idea of like something that's like hidden in plain sight like that, where it's like, you know, the bard or whoever has their like little thing that's, or even like a cleric focus or something like that, that is you know, like they have it the whole time, and it's like people might not even think to look into it because it just seems like it's such an obvious thing.
I feel like that's super vague, so we'll have to like hone it. We'll have to
dig into that better. Yeah, I will say we also need to kind of figure out. So like, say you get the one where it's like nobody did it. Like, we do need to have a couple things in here that could fit with that. Like, in the sense of like choking, like you need to have some that are like vague, like choking to death. Because I don't know that these are all going to be able to fit together, you know?
Yeah, I feel like if you get like the natural death or whatever, you roll for items, but none of them are the actual.
Right. Okay. Like this is the one that would be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think it would be fun. I don't know. I feel like we need to come up with more than 20. Like, I feel like there should be like a couple tables of magical items.
Oh, I totally agree with that. But for
just
now,
because, like, yeah, because that's what I did whenever I ran it for you both times. I just took like some of these cards that I have like these all have like different creatures and stuff on them, but I used these as well. Like I just picked like 8 cards, and like that was what all of their guests turned into on that one.
I feel like
version.
I would love to like actually code this with logic, with like if then logic, because then it's like, you know, if you get the like environment one, it's like, okay, like those are going to be different sort of options for weapons than like an obvious one. And it would be really cool to sort of have that like literal choose your own adventure of like, all right, so you rolled that it's ghosts that did it. Like ghosts probably aren't going to have done it with a instrumental weapon, so like therefore like here are like your couple of options for like how the ghosts could have done it, and being a little bit more prescriptive with that.
I see.
In the meantime, we can come up with these magical weapons, because for the most of them this works. But I would like to sort of make some like branching chart stuff.
I feel like, yeah, especially if we're gonna like code it or something.
We're gonna get Ben to code it.
You just have like special yeah. It depends on how you want to do it. Like if you're doing it as like a PDF or something.
Yeah.
You just have like, if you get this, go to this special subtable or something.
Lots of if then logic.
Yeah.
But let's do regular
Well,
weapons for now. Being sexed to death? How? Well, okay. In like Water for Chocolate, person did die having an orgasm. That did happen, but that was natural.
see, that's a different one then. That would fall under natural death. That could be an option for natural death. We'll save that one for natural death, Baylor. How about that?
They died coming.
That's a subtable. It's a subtable.
Okay.
It'll be like one of the options. Like they'll die coming or like die almost there. That sucks.
I mean, I feel like we gotta have a mimic on the list. Like the idea that someone like intentionally placed the mimic to like do the thing.
Yeah, I like it. What if it was like a pair of glasses that do we want offensive glasses or like self-inflicting glasses?
Self-inflicting, and they should be able to like morph to look like any pair of glasses. So if the victim wears glasses, they could be swapped out for them.
Okay, so magic glasses that
I kind of want them to have the similar effect to what are they called? Not mind eaters. Not mind flayers, the other ones. The little guys that get in your brain and suck it out and eat you to death in D&D.
the baby mind flayers?
No. Brain eaters? No. Fuck. Valor, help. You know everything.
Like a brain maggot?
No.
La petite morgrand. Yes.
Crabs? No, Schlibbity, it's not crabs.
Oh, but we can make crabs like a thing.
No. I think it's called brain something. Brain. I don't know. It doesn't matter, but they get in your brain and they eat it and then you die.
I think you're thinking of a mind worm.
Look like little brains with hands.
Oh, a brain with hands?
Intellect devourer. Ben just screamed it after I said it.
I hear him. Good Lord.
Yeah, I was thinking something that kind of like acts like an intellect devourer. But it's glasses. Thank you, Balor. I figured it out. Thank you, Schlibbity. You guys are assholes. I love you, but you're assholes.
What else? What else?
I'm like looking around.
I kind of like the idea. I like the idea of something that is like worn like a crown, but then it's actually like a bag of holding.
Oh yeah.
And
actually, I like
it just like covers you like down to your head, and then you like suffocate in the bag.
They essentially did that in Dungeons and Daddies. They shut half of a person into a bag of holding and just like beheaded him.
That's exactly what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. I like the idea of it like literally beheading you and taking the head away. So it's like when they find the body, it's just a body without a head.
Yes.
So it's like you will find someone just like laying on the floor.
A head devouring tiara.
Yeah. I like it.
Or piano.
Or just not a head devouring hat, because then it can be tailored to whatever setting. Like, if they're at a carnival, it might just be like a kid's carnival crown. It might be like a construction worker, whatever. Piano string.
Piano string necklace.
Oh, interesting.
It's a necklace that that's magical, and when commanded to, when it hears the command word assigned, it shrinks until it becomes a ring.
Oh, and it chokes you. Oh, but does it choke you?
Katie, it's going from like a necklace to like a ring.
Okay, all right. So yes, it chokes you.
Your head goes bye-bye. It is another
Your head goes
decapitation
bye-bye.
device.
Okay, cool. That would fully decapitate. Yep.
It looks like a very thin platinum band. With some sort of like ornament or whatever the fuck.
I feel like some of these are like very obvious and other ones are like not, Like some of them you actually have to figure out what the weapon is, and other ones I think are going to be pretty obvious when they're there.
But the thing is, like you could find, like, say this was like on a boat and you go into like, the murder victim's bed, like bunk cabin, and you just see like this necklace. Like she's like the person's just wearing the necklace. It's back to like necklace size or whatever, right?
That's true. And also, the murderer could take the ring and put it on their finger too,
and just could be wearing a ring.
Yeah.
And also, then later they're not wearing a ring, but yeah.
Shelby said, "Get this, it's a choker, but you're still surprised when it chokes you." Well, I was also thinking, like with something like that, it's like you see the murder victim wearing the choker, and then they're dead and beheaded, and like suddenly if you roll well enough, you see that the like murderer is wearing a ring. That could be nothing. That could be something,
Oh, what if it's like a ring and a necklace that are bonded, and they can only be one thing? So if one switches, the other person it switches.
Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah, because then it's sort of like all you have to do is take yours off and switch it to a ring.
Yeah.
Especially if the person is sleeping, say, and they wake up just being choked.
Mm-hmm. Or beheaded.
Could be kinky.
Just wake up dead.
Or just wake up dead. Yes, sit, stand, lie down. Love that game.
Potentially choker. Potentially 2 items that match. That can switch sizes, but one always needs to be a necklace, and the other a ring.
Yep.
Cool.
Cool. Let's see. Maybe like a deck of not like a deck of many things, like a deck of magic tarot cards that have some effect if you pull them.
Magic death tarot cards?
Uh-huh.
It has 3 charges. And will automatically make the top card death after shuffling, revealing the death card will power word kill.
Yep.
Okay, so Schlib, we took tonight in the direction of Clue, as I have run it a few times now, and so I've kind of like talked to Katie and Ben about making it like a module itself before. And then after seeing that Wizards of the Coast actually made D&D Clue, I was a little miffed. And now Katie is helping me get my revenge by helping come up with some really awesome tables so that way we can make our own variation machine on Clue. So now we're doing the magical items that, you know, did the thing. So
I mean, I will say that this looks almost nothing like I'm looking now on like the description of the Clue D&D board game, and it's very much a board game. So we still are cornering the market on actual TTRPG Clue.
Excellent. Thank you, Schlib. We will let you know when it is ready. / you may just end up being a part of it on one of these other DM 101 sessions.
All right, let's see. Coffee.
Death by coffee?
Death by coffee.
Oh, we could potentially work in like a sponsorship from Death Wish Coffee, but we should like make Death Wish coffee.
Oh my god, that'd be very funny.
And it's a coffee that casts like haste upcasted to like level 6 or some shit, and it like literally makes your heart collapse.
Yeah,
makes your heart explode.
Fun fact, I asked for Death Wish coffee for Christmas in college, and my parents wouldn't get it for me because the name was scary.
I have like Death Wish K-Cups if you want some.
I mean, I have now had Death Wish coffee in my life, but I had to get it for myself because even though I said I wanted it for Christmas, my parents were like, no. I love you, Mom and Dad, but come on now, it's coffee.
It is extremely strong coffee.
Yeah. Oh, at the end of the haste, you get 5 levels of exhaustion. That's kind of cool.
Oh, so it's like...
I feel like
that could be really fun for the DM, too, to, like, roleplay somebody, like, super hyped up. Like, they're like, going, like, super jittery, like... And then all of a sudden, they're dead.
The kind of magic item that, like, you're supposed to take a sip of, in, like, the sense of, like, it can be used well in moderation. So, like, there are legitimate uses for it insofar as, like, you take a sip and then you get haste for a while and then you get pretty tired after, but like, you know, when you need to like crank through those finals or whatever it is, like you have like one sip and this is someone being like given the entire cup. That could also be kind of fun to just play with as a magic item where it's like, all right, if you want to, like, if you really need to go, not obviously in Clue, but like in like your campaign.
In the campaign, yeah.
Yeah, you take a sip of this coffee and you get like whatever it is, like an hour or 2 hours where you are like uber hasted. And then even if you long rest, you still have like a level of exhaustion for X amount of time.
Yeah, so we'll say like this is like super concentrated, that stuff.
It's like it's cocaine. This is fantasy cocaine.
Yes. I feel like one of them should be fantasy drugs because we do have one of the things as being it was drugs the whole time. Bad drug trip.
Yeah, fantasy drugs. Oh yeah, that's true. Fantasy drugs. Fantasy. The best for you. They do the best for you.
For you.
Sure. Oh yeah. Fantasy Costco, where all your dreams come true. Got a deal for you. Is that copyrighted? I hope not.
Maybe.
Let's see. So we got fantasy drugs. We got. So again, I mean, what about like a? I'm trying to think of like a basilisk situation or like what's it called? The one that like makes you forget that you've seen it. They're like these monsters that like either you can't see or you die, or they immediately make you forget that you've seen them. So something like, but then again, that wouldn't necessarily fit with like it was blah 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 who did it. I guess it could be their pet. They could have like a pet something that does it for them. Yeah, like the silence in Doctor Who.
It's like a mix between the silence and the weeping angels.
Yeah.
Do you want to make one of those?
Sure. And then I feel like whoever did do it, if it makes sense that they did do it, could just have been like owned it or like commanded it or whatever. Call it like the shadow or something.
What if we called it like the smiling devil?
I hate it, but yes.
Well, it's not a weeping angel.
The smile, yeah, I know. It's terrifying, and I love it.
We'll say it's like an imp.
Think of it as being like almost like a, yeah, it's like a sorcerer's pet, but like I like the idea that it, like there would even maybe be things where like you see like the sorcerer or the wizard or whoever it is that did it, like you like almost swear that they were like looking down or like talking to something, but like there's nothing there kind of deal. So you get like little hints that sorry, I'm reading Schlibbities. I like the idea of an entity that possesses someone but doesn't have any memory that's an evil entity. That's also very cool. But yeah, you forget it's like there.
One of our things actually.
Yeah,
so I think that falls under
all the PCs did it but don't remember and are trapped. 8.
Yes. Yep. That would fall under there.
So yeah, Smiling Devil. So that'll be like essentially like a companion to the murderer.
Yeah, imp that makes you forget that it is there and does evil bidding, aka killing.
Zombie fungus.
Do you mean a fungus that turns people into zombies, or
a zombie made of fungus?
A zombie made of fungus? Or
we also need to remember that there is like a whodunit already. So we don't want to get too into who done it. We want to get into how done it. How done it?
Yeah.
Oh, like the actual fungus that zombifies ants.
Yeah.
It's like the idea is that it would have to be delivered in some way to like zombify someone, but that could be a murder weapon for sure.
Oh yeah, let's do that then. What if it was a pizza? Fungus. What if it was a pizza with like mushrooms?
Mushroom pizza.
Zombie fungus pizza.
Zombie fungus pizza.
Because remember, some of these are modern also. They don't have to necessarily be fantasy. And fuck it, you can make pizza in your fantasy setting. Fuck off.
I'm sorry, are you saying that zombie fungus is real world? Zombie fungus pizza is real world? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, the fungus that zombifies ants isn't necessarily like a mushroom. But all mushrooms are funguses, so.
Zombie fungus pizza. Okay, cool. What about some sort of device? Like a cell phone with thinking like that static image that like does weird shit to your brain. Like, did you see? All I'm doing is references, but that Fringe episode where like everyone who's like on the computer sees this like static pattern essentially and like kind of goes crazy.
Yes.
Like something like that where it's like a screen that does like some kind of like mind control, like melt your brain situation.
What if it's like a sending stone that like throws up an illusion
I think, yeah, I think let's call it like Sending Stone / phone, because if it's in the modern day or like a tablet, like it could be.
Yeah. That like scrambles your, like cooks your brain, like scrambles it and kills you.
Yes.
Because ultimately we want
Shelby, I appreciate the nerdiness. Yes. Well, I'm thinking it literally like scrambles your brain and like does like the brain leaky ear thing, which is just fun to describe as a DM. Yes. Like I'm picturing like blood dripping out of the eyes and like brain like, you know, like the nosebleed and just like, ugh.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm having fun. Are you having fun?
I'm having a ton of fun. I'm just like trying to think of something scary for Ben.
Oh.
I feel like we should also do like
violins scare Ben more than anything else.
Creepy creepy with a K.
And they, what do the creepy violins do? Ben, because you're scared of violins and we gotta make fun of you for it. It's okay.
With the creepy violins, what do they have to do something auditory. They scare you to death.
Yeah.
So they literally like, they cast like, it paralyzes you and frightens you at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, I also don't think we need to have like a very clear mechanic of like it casts this and that. Like I think scaring you to death is like a totally reasonable. Also, that could be fun because it could be like in like a school. So you have like the whole music room and it's like,
yeah,
violins are chilling there.
Or maybe
a museum,
you're at the museum,
cabin in the woods,
at the tavern.
True. At a hotel, that also. I mean, honestly, like these can kind of fit into any of these places. Outdoor tea party definitely works.
I was just about to say outdoor tea party.
Oh, they got to be real careful not to play that violin.
Right. What could be really hilarious?
Disintegration gun.
Yeah, why not?
Vaporization gun. I mean, that could just be fun in the sense of like there wouldn't be like necessarily a body, like a vaporization, like disintegration, vaporization, where it just like fully gets rid of the person. Yeah. Oh, I like that too, that the gun itself disintegrates after it's used. That's very good.
But like slowly, like you notice like an hour after they have talked about it, they look at it again and now like the entire barrel's missing.
Yeah, I like it.
So it gives them some urgency and the agency to like get it done faster.
Yeah.
Before the evidence is gone completely.
Hell yeah. Okay.
And it also speaks to modern day problems with ghost guns.
So true. God, Zeki.
I really like that disintegration gun though, because it can be used in like all kinds of different settings.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of these could be kind of fun to
use
in different settings. Still, number 2 still got me like feeling
I just
some
went
kind of
back
way.
up. I mean, are you a Tom Cruise stan?
I just want answers, but it's okay. Let's see. A air conditioner that sucks all the air out of the room and suffocates you to death.
Oh, what if it's even funnier than that?
What if your idea is bad and I can make it better?
No, I like the air conditioner, but like, what if it just like drops out of like a portable hole and like lands on the victim?
That's very funny. I think put air conditioner and give 2 options.
Okay, so we'll have 2 air conditioners. Which one is yours again?
Mine is that it's an air conditioner that when you turn it on, it sucks all of the air out of the room and suffocates you to death. Or even a fan. It doesn't even have to be an AC. Like, it could just be like a...
Vacuum fan.
Vacuum fan. Urgh. I'm delirious. I should stop drinking soon. Help! A large anvil that says Acme? That's hilarious.
I was like really just about to say, like, instead of it being an air conditioner, it could be a vacuum. I was thinking of the Seinfeld episode where like the air conditioner falls out and kills the guy's dog.
Yeah.
But an anvil, and also, hell yeah, Looney Tunes is legit.
Looney Tunes is very good.
And also, like, if I was in a mall, that would be a hilarious thing to just see randomly pop out of nowhere. And also, Jim Butcher used not like a portable hole, but like an anvil trying to kill somebody randomly as like a plot device in one of his books. And I thought it was hilarious the way he got away with it. So I too would like to put an anvil coming out of nowhere.
Perfect. I mean, I don't think that the point... I guess you could make a really interesting, intricate adventure for sure. But I feel like the point of this is kind of to be goofy, so I love it.
Yeah, I mean, because like not all of these things are going to be conducive to like a super serious, whodunit, like... Yeah. Like, honestly, like the high school reunion one would be hilarious.
Yes.
Like, you could do some really silly things.
I also think, like, essentially, if we give options, Ben, you're coding for us, just so you know. I don't know if you missed that. But if you gave options where it's like, you can either randomize it or you can go through and select yours. And that way people could even, like, mix in intentionally and be like, all right, I want to do... this one with this one with this one, and then you get your page. Or you go, I want to roll, and you roll and you're like, I want to re-roll, and you go to the next one, you're like, I want to re-roll and that. So you could kind of do it like any number of ways.
Yeah. I'm like looking for something to roll dice in right now. So that way we can like do this towards the end of this. We have like 10 minutes left. Let's come up with one last item, and then we'll at least have like a location, an item, and a why they did it.
Yes. We don't have the murder. Wait, we have the murderers, right? Yes, we just don't have the guests.
Well, we have like the motivation for the murderer.
Yes. Well, kind of. Some of them just say like the big guy.
Who the murderer would be. Yeah.
All right.
So
number 20.
Number 20. I do like a trophy because it's a completely mundane item.
Just bludgeon to death with a trophy. No magic. Just straight up bludgeoned to death with a trophy.
Appropriate trophy for location, including if you're in like a small town.
Yeah.
Like a regional sport championship trophy. Or even funnier, by pairing it with the killer's motive. That's one way to like make some of these things like more flexible. So, for example, you have, you know, it was. Let me just roll a fucking d20. Because that's what we're doing right now, dogs. I want a really random d20 though. So what I'm going to do is use this brand new d20 that I bought at PAX.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you did buy the math rocks at PAX.
I bought one math rock at PAX. Well, two technically. One was foam. And then this giant honkin' die. Katie, do you see this thing?
I have one of those too. Is that the ducky one?
This is one that has like a koi pond in it. So there's like
mine has little duckies
fishies and a little lotus. I don't know how well that's coming through.
Mine has 2 rubber duckies and
very adorable.
You probably can't see it at all, but
I see that.
I wonder if they're from the same place. They might be.
Did you get it from MDG?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Like this could itself be on the list because you could bludgeon someone to death with this. I agree, Ben.
Well, Ben's literally, they told him when he bought it, because he bought the metal one, they were like, you can't put this in your carry-on. You have to check the bag because
that's
if you bring it on an
hilarious.
airplane.
All right, so I rolled a 5. So we're doing this on a train.
Cool. All right.
And why? Like, why did this happen? Like, what's the solution? It was purposeful environmental. This is going to get weird.
The train murdered everyone.
Ooh, a killer train, though? That's very Stephen King.
Pretty sick. Yeah.
And how?
How did the train do it?
A cheeseburger. Thomas the engine killed me because the food cart poisoned all of its food and everyone on the train died.
That's so funny. Cool. Very cool. Well, we still have a lot of work to do, but I actually would love to get this like built out.
Throw Mama from the train too. Yes.
I would love to get this built out.
Yeah, I think we could definitely do more work coming up with more items and stuff because I think it'll be important to give people like a list that has like all of the items in the house, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, like I'm super down. I don't know what the fuck our streaming schedule is this week. Actually, now's probably a good time to plug it. Thursday, Opera House. Friday, Chaos Ladies. Saturday, nothing. Sunday is our holiday one-shot. But I was going to say that next week, Zeki, on Wednesday we have the one that's supposed to be tonight. Thursday we have... No, the week after next, we can come back to this.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Would like to. Cool.
Yeah, that's the week of the 21st?
Yeah.
The 19, 20, 21st, 22nd. Yeah, we'll figure out a day there.
No, not tomorrow. Tomorrow we don't have anything. But also I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Yeah. Yes. I mean, I guess alternately we could do like Friday the 16th, but I'd like to keep our weekends relatively open. Also, we're guesting on another podcast on Sunday. Yeah, the week of the 21st. Let's do something then. I feel like I don't know what people are feeling, but I think this channel is going to be a lot of like actual play and then like stuff like this. So if you enjoy stuff like this, we will absolutely continue. If you don't, that is a-okay. But kind of gives us time to like sit down together and do shit that it's like we've wanted to do this, we haven't been able to find time. And it's fun for me. So if it's fun to watch, then awesome. And if it's not, we will figure out what else to do.
Yeah, like I think after the holidays and into the new year, I will potentially start painting some minis as well, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Chat.
Yeah, I just have to like make sure I figure out my setup and like create the space I want to use and make sure it's lit well for everything. So I'm just doing like some of the technical side of that now, like getting that prepared.
Sure.
And then I'll be ready to do that as well. Or if anybody else wants to do that, Katie. I know Ben was talking about painting stuff.
I know that Ben was definitely interested. We also wanted to, I don't know if we're going to stream it or what, but I've never built a Lego set. And Ben got me a Lego set. So I don't know. He would like to at least record it. I'm not sure what the plan is, if it's going to be just like a YouTube video or if we're actually going to stream.
No, that should be streamed.
Oh God. I'm so bad at direction.
With like multiple cameras as well. Like there should be like at least 3 cameras. Like there should be like one camera like glued on the instructions. There should be.
Shlib's never done Legos either. I'm not alone.
Shlib, how's that even possible? You do so much in Tailspire. That doesn't even make sense.
But yeah, we're gonna figure that out. But you know, like I said, channel's definitely going more in a TTRPG direction. I don't know why I did that.
It's like a roller coaster.
It's a little roller coaster. And yeah, and also in December, Jesus, it is December. In January, we're going to be starting our actual play campaign, which I am super fucking excited about. That's going to be great.
Yes. I'm very excited for that. Oh my God. We have so much stuff coming.
So much to do. The directions are written for small children. Valor, I don't know how to explain to you my ability to. Ben, I don't know if you're still in chat, but can you weigh in, please, on how I do following written? Yeah, I can't. I can't. I need someone to show me and then I can do it. But if it's on paper, yep, that's what I was gonna say. I cannot translate it from 2D into 3D. Like I don't understand. Doesn't make sense.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be so bad. And on that note, why don't we go ahead and raid Balra? And I need to leave unless Zeki you'd like to stay on without me, which I guess you are welcome to do. But I need to drive.
Yeah, no. Everybody, you can find all of our links below, as well as the merch store. Make sure you're clicking on that and getting yourself something pretty. I believe on the Twitter, you can see Katie and Ben both rocking AP merchandise throughout the weekend at PAX Unplugged, where we all got to hang out in real life, not just on these computers. We had a great time, met some awesome people. More people that I even need to talk to Katie and Ben about. There's so many things. So many things happened. Very exciting stuff. Hopefully it'll mean even more amazing tabletop RPG content. And that's all I can say for now about that. Katie, any other mysterious things you want to plug?
I don't think so. We're gonna, let's see, what else is coming up this weekend. Ben and I are going to be recording another past podcast, talking about the D&D movie, which will be really cool. And then the Sunday after this current Sunday, we're going to be on Advanced Dungeons and Intermediate Dragons, also guesting.
Nice.
So those are the only like non-channel things that are coming up. But otherwise, we'll be here Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Monday,
Friday, we also have ATOD Session 0.
Oh, yeah.
That's
got a lot of stuff going on. Lots of stuff.
Also with ATOD, the Natural Ones are coming out.
Oh, it raided Balra.
And we're gone.